Welcome to Powering Through Life on the Divas That Care Network. I'm your host, Teresa Sims. I'm a life coach, an NLP practitioner, and a multiple award-winning author, 3-time #1 best-selling co-author. And each week on Powering Through Life, my guests and I discuss a special topic that is close to their heart. Together, we explore the challenges they've faced in life and learn what strategies and tools they've used to power through their lives. Now today, I have a returning guest, and I'm so proud to have her back. It's Lori Appleby. Lori is a certified radical living master coach, speaker, and the creator of the Soul Adventure game, where you use your intuition and inspired action to create clarity and transformation in life. Her journey within led her to guiding others to heal their hearts, live with expanded awareness and soul purpose in a gentle and permanent way. So, Lori, that's fantastic. Welcome to Powering Through Life.
Thank you so much, Teresa. It's great to be back.
Oh, I'm so excited that we get a chance to do this again. It's been about, I think, a year and a half or something like that. But,
I think so,
yeah, there's so much that's happened in your life since we talked the last time. So, let's get to it. So if you wouldn't mind, I have a question I'd like to ask. And please tell our listeners what a radical living master coach is.
Okay, so a Radical Living Master Coach is that I was certified and trained personally by Colin Tipping, who is the founder and creator of Radical Forgiveness, and it turned into the Radical Forgiveness Institute. And basically what it is he's written a book. He's written several books, actually, but the main one was Radical Forgiveness, and then he's created easy to use, what we like to call spiritual technology, and it's just simple processes that anyone can use in order to take their victim story where they were hurt or wronged and they just can't get past it, and reframe that into a story that empowers them and that they can learn and understand the lessons and grow from it. And in time, grow to appreciate and be grateful for that experience.
That's fantastic, because I know myself doing some of that work, and I'm not a radical forgiveness coach, but you know, the word forgiveness, when you do this personal work and this personal growth work, forgiveness is so key to what we can do to empower ourselves to step away from the experiences that we've had and understanding the complete circumstances, everything that surrounded that event. And yet, if we don't forgive, we can't always move on.
No, we can, in my opinion, we can't move on.
Yeah.
What we've done is we've given our power to whoever or whatever has hurt us and did something wrong to us. So when we don't have our power, how can we change? How can we be happy? We've given that up. So taking forgiveness is always for yourself, and it's really about taking life back into your own hands and making that decision that you're not going to allow what happened to you to control what's happening to you in your present, because that was your past, right?
Yes, exactly. And that's so key. So that is so fantastic. I know I love learning about that kind of work, and, you know, coaching is our lives, really. And, you know, the radical forgiveness is just an amazing tool. And I think, you know, anyone that would want to learn more about it could reach out to you to find more information.
Absolutely.
Is that correct? Perfect.
Absolutely, yeah. I do coach in that and support people, and it's definitely soul work. So it's something that you have to be ready for. You have to be ready for, okay, I'm ready to change my story. I'm ready to look at this differently. So it's not, it's the person knows that, okay, there's something that needs to change here, and I'm ready to find out how I can do that.
Absolutely. You do get to a certain point where all of a sudden that decision is, you're very conscious of that decision and that choice. And, you know, it's not something that somebody else can do for you. You have to know when it's the right time, right?
Absolutely. But definitely it's great to get support and guidance through that, whether it's a book or a coach or, doing the worksheets. There's so many options that are out there for people. It's just, I fully believe that to do what resonates with you.
Yeah, oh, that's fantastic. So I know we will have all your contact information
Of course.
When your episode is uploaded to the Divas Network. So anyone that wants to reach out can. And if I know of anyone, I will be happy to pass them on to you. So
thank you.
Yeah. So Lori, you have created a game, and it's called the Soul Adventure Game. Would you like to explain a little bit about that, please?
Sure. Yes. So in my own personal healing and in supporting others to do the same, doing the coaching, I was finding that, it brings a lot of heavy feelings and emotions and that can stop people. Mm-hmm. And what I wanted was, I was really looking to find a way to bring some ease and a little bit of fun and lightness into the healing work. And I also knew for myself when I was practicing, connecting to source, connecting to my intuition, I had to do it every day, because when I didn't do it every day, I lost connection pretty easily because I would get stuck in my head. Because our logical mind, if it's really powerful in your processing everything in your mind, it's not that easy to listen to your intuition. So I wanted to find a tool that was fun and easy and could help us to connect to who we truly are and remember who we truly are. And I ended up creating the Soul Adventure Game. And so what it does is it helps us to listen to our intuition, to find our truth in playing the game. And you play the game on your own by yourself. It takes 10 minutes a day, and you're always creating a positive message for yourself, coming from you and from the energy that you put into the cards and the intention that you set when you play. So it's very, very powerful in the sense that it's doing the healing work and the empowerment work in a small little bite-sized piece each day. And when you do that each day, you're building that momentum and that consistency that over time, transformation really does happen. And you're starting to shift your beliefs and those old programs that weren't serving you. You're starting to shift it into remembering who you are. And so that's the essence of the game. And it is changing lives, and it's completely changed my life too.
Well, I did purchase one from you. So I have the game sitting in front of me right now, and I have the 3 different decks of cards that are involved in the game. Would you like to explain those decks for us?
Absolutely. So the first deck is called the Compass Being deck. So those are all I am statements, and they're all different states of being. So for instance, confidence is one of them. I am confident. Mm-hmm. And at the bottom of that each card on that deck, there's an affirmation. So if you can find the confidence card, I don't have them in front of me, but if you can find the confidence card and you can read out that affirmation.
Absolutely. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I drew my cards. Yeah, I drew my cards this morning, now.
Or just draw whichever one you like. It doesn't have to be the confidence one. Whichever being card you drew today. Why don't we just go with that?
Well, I drew one from each deck. So do you want to go through each one? Okay.
Absolutely. So just read the affirmation on the being compass being card, the first deck.
Okay. So mine that I drew this morning is I am peace. And below it says, I am free. Everything coexists in perfect harmony. I am peace.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Awesome. And that's really, that deck is really about how do we want to feel? How do we want to be? Because in the human, materialistic world, we're always doing and making, and in when you're connecting to your soul and who you really are, it's about who do you be, and that may not be proper English, but it's about that being state. And those cards really help us to, who am I being today? And we always pull whatever one we need to focus on that day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first deck, and I love holding that deck, like a card, whatever card I pull, and just holding it to my heart and, just feeling into being that state of being, whichever card. So it's being peace, and how does that feel, and repeating that affirmation to myself. Very empowering, and you can really shift your being. Like, how we wake up often, we wake up and you just wake up on the wrong side of the bed, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't feel so good. I'll pull a compass card, and I'll just take some nice deep breaths, and then I will just say that affirmation, and I can just shift my energy and shift how I feel in my body, and it really sets me up to have a positive start for the day.
Yeah, well, I would agree because, just drawing that card, I am peace, what it did for me was, and, the last few months for me have been quite filled with turmoil and upheaval and everything else. But, working through this game has actually helped me to recenter, refocus, and, just drawing that card, I am peace, it was, when you were speaking, it was like a wave of peace and calm just washed right over me as we were talking. So that's what it's all about, right? Is to
Absolutely.
just, to feel it, to be it, to hear it, to see it, to touch it, use all the senses to encompass it.
And bringing it into our present moment, right? Because that's where our power is. That's where we live. That's where we can do anything we want to do is in the present moment. So bringing it back to the present and being mindful and just focusing on how we want to be. It's very, very powerful, and it's all about intention and breathing, and that's all you need. It's not difficult. It's just focusing on that card and doing those simple steps.
Right. And now I know the second deck is the chakra locator card. Is that correct?
Yes,
absolutely.
Okay.
So I've drawn one from there as well. Do you want to explain what the chakra cards are first?
Absolutely, yes. So the chakra locator cards are all the different parts of us. So they all are the me cards. So they're based on the different chakra locations, the 7 main chakras that align our spine, and they're different parts of ourselves. So, for instance, the chakra number 1, the root chakra, the base chakra, we have cards such as grounded me and inner child me, and then in for instance, the heart chakra, the chakra number 4, we have the connected me and the self-love me and the real me. So the different parts of us are located in the different chakras, and if you know anything about chakras, they're based on the different emotions we have, the different body parts and organs and things like that, and also the other side, we'll say the shadow side of us, they're also in there as well. So depending if your chakra is open and balanced or if it's closed, that's what you're going to experience. You'll know, if you say you have a strong feeling of not feeling safe, you would probably have some issues with your root chakra, because that's all about safety and survival and security and being connected in your body.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Which one did you pull?
Well, it's funny because I did actually pull one of the root chakra cards, and it's secure me is what it is. So, I guess that goes back to everything else I've been dealing with over the last few months, with all the family upheaval and everything else that's gone on. It's caused a lot of internal conflict with me, and, so that, I guess, comes right into play of I'm feeling secure now, changing, that, and then finding, going back to the first one, we're finding the peace within me and being secure, I guess, right? Is that how that works? Absolutely, absolutely.
So for the definition of that particular card that you pulled, in the booklet that comes with the game, there's a page of definitions for all the chakra cards, and that one is, for secure me, is you are safe and secure, nothing will harm you. So I always like, when I pull the cards, even now, even though I know them, I always like to open the definitions and read it, because it just, for me, saying it out loud and feeling into that, it really helps me to really tune into that card and tune into that part of my body, that chakra, the root chakra, which is, in our pelvic area. And just to really feel secure, the part of me that is secure, right, and to breathe into that. So these are all definitions that are at the highest form of what these chakra areas are. But then I also have an ebook, and it's an electronic book that comes with the game, and they go deeper into the chakra areas, and so that you can determine, where you may have some blocked areas or where you're already strong, so that people can self-diagnose to a point, and do simple things in their everyday life to either balance something or, just open it up more.
Right. And, I love the way you have everything so well laid out, easily accessible. It's beautifully done. It's clear. It's, easy to read, easy to understand, and easy to apply to what's going on in our lives right now.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I did that on purpose. I really wanted it to be a game that someone that was familiar with the chakras could use, but then also for people who are just starting to look into the spiritual side of themselves, and they're just learning about chakras and intuition. I wanted this game to be able to be an introduction for them as well, because so many people are, having the spiritual awakening. They're realizing that focusing on their inner parts of who they are is vital for their health, their happiness, their abundance, all of that. So the game and the ebook all support someone who's just starting out into this, and I also have support with a Facebook group where people can get additional support. So
that's
for
fantastic.
All areas, yeah.
Yeah, so you're not alone as you go through this journey of learning. So I know the third deck is the Adventure Energy card. So do you want to give an explanation on that one?
Absolutely. So the Adventure Energy cards are all action-based cards, and they are broken up into 3 different areas. So there's cards that are the creating energy, there are ones that are healing energy, and then there are the mindfulness energy. And when we are going through this journey of our soul and living in the human world, if we don't take action, nothing happens. We don't go anywhere. And oftentimes we're not sure what is the action to take and where should we be focusing our energy on. So this is why the Adventure Energy cards, I feel, are so important, because it brings that action piece into the practice. And what we can usually do is we start to see a theme of which cards we're pulling the most in those areas. So I'm curious to know which one you pulled, Teresa.
I pulled Releasing, a healing energy. So they all 3 fit together perfectly for me, don't they?
Absolutely, yes. So the healing energy of releasing, absolutely. And from what you're saying, sounds like, that's the perfect card, so you can just have peace and feel safe and secure. You really have to release any maybe expectations it could be. I don't know. That's for you to know what you're releasing. But like you said, it sounds perfect. So great.
Yeah, it's absolutely profound, the 3 cards that I chose this morning, because it just
love it.
Perfectly fits with what I've been facing, what I've been dealing with, and what I've been trying to come to terms with, forgive, and let go. So, So now, Lori, explain. I have drawn my 3 cards. So in the game, what do I do once I've done the 3 cards? Now, I see you've got a little journal card here.
Yeah. So, like I said, the traditional way to play the game that we do, and it takes about 10 minutes, is we pull our 3 cards. We set that intention that we're, open to receiving guidance and the message for the highest good of all and for ourselves. And then once we've done that, we take that little journal card that's already, it's got little blanks in there so that you can fill in the cards that you pulled. And what you're doing is you're creating an incomplete sentence there that your intuition, which I like to call your soul's wisdom, is going to finish for you. So what you do is you write in the compass card in the first blank, and there's like a little spot where it tells you to do that. And then you write your secure me in the second blank, and then you write your releasing in the third blank.
Mm-hmm. So mine would be today is I am peace within my secure me, therefore I am releasing.
Right. So now what you've done is you've created a sentence that your logical mind is not able to answer. This is for your soul's wisdom to finish the end of your sentence. So this is where the game brings you into it. So there's a lot of cards out there, oracle cards, angel cards, and I love them. I've used them myself. But what I love about the Soul Adventure game is it's not just the energy of pulling your cards, but it's your soul's wisdom that is going to chime in here and help you to form what the messages that you need to know and focus on today. So I always ask people to just be nice and centered and grounded in their body and take some deep breaths. Usually 3 nice deep breaths in and out is good enough, but sometimes you need a little bit more, and that's okay. And then we say the sentence out loud, and we listen for the end of our sentence for our answer. And our intuition, so it's always going to be the first thing that comes. So it could be a word, it could be a phrase, it could be a visual image. It really depends on how you receive your intuitive messages. And whatever comes, you're just going to fill it in at the end. There's a little space, couple lines there, and you're going to fill it in and make, you can form it so it does make a proper sentence so that you can understand. And then that's your message, that's your personal mantra for today. So you just focus on that for today. Some people love to journal on that message because it always resonates. It can resonate as confirmation for what you're already doing. It can resonate as, pointing you in the direction to focus on this. It really depends on where you're at and what you need. But meditating on it, journaling, just reflecting on it later in the day. I can't tell you how many times I've, to pull my cards usually in the morning, and then later in the day something happens and I get stressed for some reason, and I'm like, where is my journal card? I need to go back and read that. And I'll just read it, and I'll breathe, and it just calms me right down and reduces my stress and brings me back into the present moment.
Oh, that's fantastic. I know just what I've drawn this morning with you. My heart, my core actually feels lighter and brighter. So it is as if I am releasing what's gone on. So that's fantastic.
Amazing.
So I know the last step there is to, on the journal card, is to take action steps for the day.
Yes. So with that part, we always, after we do that, what I like to tell people to do, if they have that time, is to grab your peace card, grab your compass card, and just repeat that affirmation to yourself. And a lot of people like to hold it to a different part of their body that they're feeling is needing that the most. A lot of times I usually hold it to my heart, but sometimes I've held it to my throat or my, my sacral chakra area, different, or anywhere you want, and just feel into what it feels like to be peace.
Right.
And then once you've done that, then we ask our intuition, our soul's wisdom, what key action can I take towards this message?
Oh, that's so fantastic.
Thank you.
And then I see in the booklet that there is a tally sheet that person that's playing the game can keep track of. So absolutely.
So so you have your action, and whether or not, I want to just mention, whether or not you take that action, it's not a should, it's always a get to, because sometimes, our intuition will tell us to take an action, that's always going to be a positive, uplifting action. But we may not have time, and I don't want people to feel bad or wrong that they didn't do it, because it's already, the seed has been planted, so to speak.
Yes.
So you may take that action later. But what we also do is we tally our cards every day. So you pull those 3 cards, you would go into that tally book, tick off peace, tick off the secure me, and then the releasing. And we do that so that we can see our themes, because after we've played for 44 days, on the journal card, there is a little spot to mark down what day you're on. Once we play for 44 days, then we tally up all our cards to see where we've been pulling cards the most. And that gives us more information so that we can ask our soul's wisdom some deeper questions in regards to our purpose, then going forward for the next 44 days. What actions can we take? What chakra area is coming up the most, so we can reference the ebook and do some balancing on that chakra, do some whatever suggestions are there. Or there's other, you can go and get Reiki done, or any other healing modality that balances chakras, and you can do that. So many, use essential oils. There's so many things that I didn't put in there because I wanted to keep it simple, but lots of ways you can heal your chakras. And then also the energy card, the adventure card, maybe you've pulled a lot of the healing, so that maybe there's some more healing, or the mindfulness, or the creating. Whatever it is, you reference the ebook, and it's going to give you some insight on what you can do moving forward to make sure you're staying in that energy and nourishing it and supporting it.
That's fantastic, because I know I've been playing this for about 5 days now, maybe not consistently, but, I've done it 5 times because life happens, right?
Absolutely.
So it's interesting when I look at the scorecard, the tally sheet, I have drawn Secure Me twice.
And that's only 5 days.
Yes, and the adventure cards, I've drawn more from the healing energy aspect than the creating or mindfulness. And that's really interesting. So I think there's a pattern already developing there for me that I know what's going on and where I need to look at and maybe do some more energy work. And and that's really what the game is about, is it's giving us like a conduit, a tool, so that we can be more in tune with our body, with our soul, with our emotions, with all of that. And as we play, we begin to become much more aware of our energy. And that way, when we're aware, we can support ourselves in the way that we need. So it's really about building this beautiful, empowering self-care, self-love practice, and learning what your body is trying to tell you, but doing it through the cards and listening to your intuition. So it's really that mind, body, soul approach. That is absolutely beautiful, because that's what's needed. I mean, a lot of people work on one aspect of that, but it's not just one aspect. You have to encompass all mind, body, and spirit. And they are also intricately linked, that we have no idea how intricately linked they are. But it's interesting when even if you work on one, it does trickle down into the others. But if you can focus, a bit of time on all 3, you just get the best of all the worlds.
Absolutely. And that's what I found, for myself and many other people who, once we dive into this spirituality and this type of things, we want to do all of it. We're like, oh my gosh, I want to do everything. Where do I start? And it's overwhelming. And this is a lifelong practice. So making it part of your lifestyle and part of your everyday, and focusing on one small piece each day, which what the game does to support you in that, it makes it manageable, doable. You're much more likely to continue to do it every day, because it's great. It's fine if you miss a day or two, no big deal. But people that are playing it every day are the ones that are telling me it's changing their life, like dramatically.
Well, it would. It would give a bigger shift in your purpose and whatnot.
Right.
And go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
In saying that, it's also a game that you can, you need some guidance and you need something to support you, you can play the game as well. So I built it to be that consistent way, and it's also a way that you can play different types of games. So I have other games that I've created with the help of other people and just coming up with other ways to play it. So like I have a healing your chakra game, and I have a releasing game, and I've also noticed, which is pretty cool, and I just noticed this not long ago, is that when we pull our cards, we get one message. But if we flip our deck, the whole deck over, and flip that over, all 3 cards, you have a whole new message right there for you. And I've noticed that when I do that, I resonate with it, and it's like an added message. So it's really the sky's the limit on how you use the cards, because it's all just helping us to connect with ourselves, and whatever our intention is, as long as it's for the highest good of all, we're going to receive what we need.
That's interesting, because I just flipped the decks,
Yes.
as you said, and so the bottom card is now the top card, correct?
Yes, yes.
So what I received is I am self-expression. I express my thoughts and feelings in ways that feel good to me. I am self-expression. And then the next card, the chakra card, is compassionate me.
And that's your depth of feeling strengthens your relationship.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? And then
that's your heart chakra, yeah.
Ah, there you go. And the third card, the adventure card, is sharing.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
So you have another additional message if you choose to, do that one as well.
That's fantastic, because that just brightened me up completely right now.
Good. Love it.
So it works. There we go. It works.
It does. You know what? It does work, because last thing I really want to share about the game is that all the cards in this game, they are our truth. They are the truth that we've forgotten, and we are now starting to remember the truth of who we really are. And so no matter what we pull, our energy pulls the cards that we need to focus on for that day. But the whole entire game is our truth. We are all of that, right?
Yes.
So it's a game of truth of who you really are. And in playing it, you're always going to get something that resonates. And sometimes, in saying that, I've found people have pulled certain cards and they have some resistance around certain things. And then they'll say to me, I pulled that card again, and they keep pulling the same card, and they're fighting it. So the same card keeps coming up. So it's their soul's wisdom trying to say, hey, just come back over to this part. You need to focus on this. I know you don't want to, and that's a sign that there's resistance there. And I have a little section in my with what I do, because I have facilitators and how to support people around the resistance. And I actually have a video that I have in the Facebook group to support people when resistance comes up. So.
Oh, that's fast. That's amazing, because I think, as you were speaking, I'm thinking, okay, that's the logical mind that's trying to take over when the resistance happens. And, we have to stop with the logical mind. That's not where this is focused on. This is focused on the subconscious mind more than anything else. Because, the being of who we truly are is buried deep within us. And that's kind of in the subconscious area of the mind, where the conscious area is the logical side of the mind. So when you speak and work on the things that are in your buried who you are in your subconscious being, then you release that energy. It's, oh my goodness, it's a win-win all the way around.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So Lori, what's the biggest change you've experienced on your spiritual journey?
I would say the biggest change for me is really tapping into my authentic self. So when I started out in this life, I was very shy. I was very drawn within. I just wanted to make other people happy so that they would accept me. And that I evolved into people pleasing, and I really lost my identity. And I wouldn't say what I really thought unless I felt really safe to do so. most of the times I would just blend in and conform to others. And now, since doing the healing and stepping into the gifts that I have and accepting that they are my gifts, and which were all the opposite of what I was, that is the biggest part. I'm allowing myself to be who I really am. That was a big change for me because it's pretty much like a 360 of who I was. So I'm still getting to know her, me, the real me,
Yeah.
I'm still getting to know me. And another layer, right? It's always another layer.
Absolutely, because we're always a work in progress. People that say they've got it all under control, they're absolutely perfect, content where they are. Yeah, sometimes I don't know if I believe that, but if that's what they have to tell themselves.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you there, but I also think it depends on what we chose as a soul to come here to experience this time around. Mm-hmm. Because if we may have chose a really difficult path in order to be able to, help a whole lot of people, and sometimes people get stuck and they don't get out of that difficult time in their life. But then the ones that do, they are the most powerful healers and spiritual leaders, or whatever they're doing in their life. It could be something that's not spiritual, but when you can take that hero's journey and come out on top, you're such an inspiration for other people. So I think when you got to that point where yes, you still have the trials and tribulations that come up, but you know what to do. When you've done all that work, we know what to do in order to, because we're so self-aware, right? Because we're much closer to being more enlightened, right?
Yes,
so
I would
some
agree
people,
with
they get to that point, then they can say that, I would say, because it's farther and fewer between when they're struggling in their struggles, right, in their challenges. Yeah.
Very true. I know, the things that I keep referring to, the things that have gone on in the last 3 months for me. Had I not had my experience as a coach and an NLP practitioner, I would not be where I am right now. So, it helped me face a lot of issues. Mind you, I had to reach out to a few people that I trust because I just couldn't get through it at times, but each day got stronger and stronger, and, we can pull it back quicker. And,
and it's
understand.
so important to look back to see where we were, just briefly, to say, look at, now, if this had happened to me, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I would have been a mess. It would have taken me months to get over this. But now we can, we can work through challenges within weeks or days sometimes.
Yeah.
Just depending on what's going on, right?
Right. And the tools are there. And that's why I love having people like you on the show, because you have the tools. And that's what this whole show is about, is what tools work for you may resonate with someone who's listening, but may not work for someone else. But another guest, what they have to offer may work. So it's all about sharing the wisdom, the knowledge, and the tools that we have, because we can't always do it alone.
No, and I don't recommend trying to do it alone.
No.
Because that's what I did. I wouldn't ask for help. I didn't think I was worthy of asking for help, and I was embarrassed and ashamed of certain things of my past, and so I tried to deal with a lot of it on my own, and that did not work for me, and I don't think it works for anyone. And when you share what's going on, someone else resonates, and it's interesting when you open yourself up to receiving help, who shows up in your life.
Yeah,
it's the perfect person for you.
Exactly.
Right?
And, the things that I've had going on, I thought, okay, well, I've gotten through worse in my life by myself. I can do it. But, it's interesting because a lot of people see me as a very strong person because I've gone through so much that I should be able to get through things on my own. And a lot of people don't know how to help me, so they don't reach out. But that's okay, because maybe they're just uncomfortable with what's going on with me. But I realized I needed some help, and I reached out to a mutual friend of ours, and who is an incredible coach. And my goodness, she's just been amazing. And it helps so
Awesome.
much because
Yeah.
we can't always, we're not meant to travel this journey by
No.
ourselves alone.
No, we are not.
No.
It's all about, and that's what relationships are for. It's for healing,
Mm-hmm.
It's the ones in our life that are really close to us that are teaching us our biggest lessons, and we're teaching to them as well. And then it's the ones that are here to help us to, remember our truth and remember who we really are and, heal from the pain that we had experienced.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know I'm glad I had your game with me in the last few months because it's been instrumental in helping me to recover from the incidents that have gone on in the last few months.
Amazing.
So
Awesome.
it does work. So anyone
Good,
that's interested in grabbing Lori's game, we're going to have a link, I hope, on the show that they can connect with you and grab the game because it's fun, it's interesting, it's enlightening, I think, is the best way to say it. And it gives you everything that you need to make a change and see. And actually live, breathe, and feel that change as you're going through it. So, yeah. So, Lori, what's your biggest vision for the work that you're doing in the world?
Well, my biggest vision, it's a bit twofold, is first of all, to educate people on the soul's journey, our soul adventure, that to understand it from the point of view that we chose to come here and, we chose to have experiences that we have, the positive and the negative, the good and the bad, and we're supposed to feel our emotions fully, and then we're to release. And then there's a lot more to it, but educating people to embrace the ups and the downs of our journey so that we can do it with more ease and flow, because when we resist it, we end up just repeating our patterns over and over and over again.
Right.
And society doesn't really support this, but it is starting to come around. So I just want to help people to embrace that. And I know for myself, when I can really embrace feeling those yucky feelings that have been living inside of me all these years because I didn't feel them way back when I can feel them and release them and embrace that part of me and love all parts of me and know that that's why I'm here. I'm here to do all these different things, not to just be, I wasn't here just to be an amazing love and light person. I'm also here to experience the other side as well. I don't want to stay there, and usually we experience that darker part in the beginning of our lives. So helping people to embrace and let go so that they can go out and be their best self and support others.
Right.
And
so
then the second half, go ahead.
Would you agree that we can't have light without dark?
Absolutely.
Light? I think that's a good balance, isn't it? If you can experience both sides, then you've got a unique awareness of
you can be neutral in the middle.
Yeah.
And then because being on either side too much is not balanced.
Right.
But when we've been so much in the dark, we have to head over to the light and hang out there for a while. But then we can get to the point of this peace, this neutrality, that there is no right or wrong, there is no good or bad, it just is. Yeah. And we're here to experience all of it. And that's a hard thing for us as human beings to fully understand, myself included. But I know that that's the bigger spiritual picture, and learning how to live in that bigger spiritual picture world and the human world at the same time, navigating those two. So just building that bridge between the two worlds so that we can experience all the amazingness that is at our fingertips when we understand the universal laws, spiritual laws, and we can tap into that and we can release that old paradigm of, lack and limitation and right and wrong and judgment and all that. Of course, that's where we live, but to be able to navigate both, that's how we can become more balanced. And then we can do this all with joy and ease. And then the second part was my big vision is for people to fully embrace who they really are, all their uniqueness, and to have that ability, once they've done that healing, to put their real self out there in the world. And I really wish that for the whole entire world, because there is a lot of divide between race and sexuality and gender and religion and all those things. And wouldn't it be amazing if we could just embrace everybody and if you live and let live. That's my big vision. Whether I'm going to get there in this lifetime, I don't know, but I hold that vision for everybody, and because then we're truly at peace, and then it's in a harmonious world, right?
Well, we need to remember too that our path is not someone else's path. Yeah. And vice versa. So who are we to judge what their path they're put on the earth to do, right? So so we need to just live our own truth, our own uniqueness, our own adventure, and live to our fullest potential. And
allow and support others to do the same.
Yeah, exactly. That's fabulous. I think this is a great idea. So how could anyone get in touch with you to purchase the Soul Adventure game, Lori?
So we actually have a brand new site. I don't know if I gave that one to you, but a brand new site. It's called souladventuregame.com, and you can find the game there, and you can also meet some of my facilitators of the game and learn more about it. And then you can also find me, and there's also links to the game as well at ourpurposefuljourney.com.
Okay.
That's my website, ourpurposefuljourney.com.
Okay, so if you will send me those updated links, then I'll make sure that they get put on your episode, and people can reach out and contact you either by email or through the website, or you're on Facebook as well, LinkedIn.
I am. Yes, I'm on all of those. And then I'm on Instagram. My handle is Forgiveness is Freedom.
Oh, I like that.
Thanks. And then on LinkedIn, it's my name, and Facebook, my name as well.
Perfect.
Lori
okay.
Appleby. Yeah.
That's wonderful,
Thank
Lori.
you.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you for being here with us today, and thank you for allowing me to share the cards I drew. I hope that helped someone create intrigue for purchasing your game, because it's fun, it's enlightening, it's beautiful, and you've done a great job on it. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I'll just add one more thing. If anyone is interested in creating a game themselves, I do want to give credit to my my coach who supported me in creating the game. Mm-hmm. And so if you want, her name's Jean Berry, and if anyone is interested in creating their own game, I'm more than happy to connect you to her, because she really supported me to get this game out. And this was the biggest thing I've ever done in my life, and I had to have support with that, and she was my angel in so many ways. So.
Well, that's fantastic, because we all do need help, and we we just need to reach out, and there's always someone there, and it's fabulous. It's fabulous. So that is wonderful. And I'd like to have you back again in the near future to share how the game is going, and if there's any changes or what new games you've come up with, because this is groundbreaking. I think this is fabulous, Lori. So thank you so much. I'm so glad we did this again.
You're welcome.
And send me those new links, and we'll make sure everything gets put up so everyone can contact you. And thank you so much for sharing. So
thank
Lori,
you for having me.
You're amazing. I'm so glad we know each other, and we can experience this journey together. So thanks.
Yeah, and thank you for doing this podcast for women, because we need these types of things, for us to get more information and take what resonates with us. So I think that's great that you're doing the podcast, Divas That Care, and thank you for doing that.
Oh, you're very welcome, and that's what that is what one of my purposes is on this earth, and it's just to share information, because I know when I went through my struggles after my severe car accident where I was almost killed, and then my recovery for 9 years after that, I had very little support. So it was really difficult and challenging to find. And we need to have these things. We need to share the knowledge and the wealth of the knowledge. And it doesn't hurt. It just makes someone else feel so wonderful.
That's right. Exactly.
That's
Wonderful.
what it's all about. Okay. Well,
it is.
yeah,
Have
thanks,
a great
Lori.
day.
You too.
Thank
So,
you.
Divas, that brings to a close another great interview, great inspiring interview on Powering Through Life. I'd like to thank my incredible guest, Lori Appleby, for sharing her thoughts, wisdom with our listeners and sharing her game, Soul Adventure game, with us today. So, Divas, if you'd like to contact Lori, go to www.divasthatcare.com. Click on my picture, that's Teresa Sims, and there you will find all the episodes. You will find Lori's episode, all her contact information, the link to purchase her game, and just go crazy, contact Lori, and see what the Soul Adventure game is all about. So thank you, Divas, for listening to Powering Through Life.